Clarissa Burt, we're just so busy yapping. That's what we do when we get together with girlfriends. And I love Rita Romano. You know her, you love her along with me because you've seen her different times. I put out this Facebook. The last time I said, hey, everybody, it's Clarissa here, and Rita's going to do all the talking.
And I did the same laugh.
And she just laughed and froze. And so people say, well, let her talk sometimes. And I went, okay, talk. And she went, no, you do it. I said, okay, I will. Anyway, we're back in the Limelight. I'm so excited that you're here and that you can spend some time with Rita as well, because you all probably have seen on social media that we came out with a cookbook, a lovely, beautiful cookbook. It is the Italian Gluten-Free Gastronomy Cookbook. The art of savoring and preparing gluten-free dishes, right? So it's Italian and gluten-free. The story behind that, everyone, is because I lived in Italy for 30 years and found out the hard way that I am highly gluten intolerant, gluten sensitive. Rita, on the other hand, is a world-renowned chef in many restaurants and cookbooks, and we got together and said, hey, why don't we, collaborate on something together, and we did. So we're thrilled with the book. It is beautiful. It's got 70 different recipes in it. Each recipe has a beautiful photograph, not an illustration really, but a photograph that Rita took. We're going to show better pictures of these, but I'm just going to kind of open them up and we'll see. Which one's this?
Absolutely. That's the zucchini with the pasta, and it's a beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful.
Recipe,
and every recipe in here again is gluten-free, and Rita's recipe, which is really kind of even more exciting because we get the internationality of Rita and her being Italian. We get the fact that she's a very famous chef, and so I get out of her kitchen and get out of her way because she's a woman on a mission for sure when she's cooking. And
at least eating.
Yeah,
at least to eat.
And I am so excited and thrilled because we got to collaborate together and come out with something that really I don't think had ever been done, and that is the marriage between gluten-free and Italian cooking. A lot of the food, and I found out the hard way, as I said before, in Italy is full of gluten. You have pizza, and you have pasta, you have pane, right?
Exactly.
And these are all things, pane being bread, and so we have an awful lot of gluten in the diet there. As good as it is,
and the combination that people are looking for, especially when they're going gluten-free.
Yeah.
They really crave that pasta, the flour, and the pizza.
Right.
And that makes a total difference.
And my manifestations, as you know, Rita, were of the anaphylactic shock type. So many times I was rushed to a hospital, not knowing exactly what was wrong with me. And I always knew, however, it was pretty much right after eating, as I assume I was going into the digestive phase. And boom, I would break out into an anaphylactic shock. I never went anywhere without an EpiPen. I never went anywhere without an EpiPen. That's how afraid I was because I had no idea what was wrong with me. Gluten, many people think, as you know, they think it's a fad or it's, a diety thing. It's not. It's a real deal thing.
It's a serious problem.
It's a serious problem for a lot of people. I don't want to get into the science of it all or too technical about it, but as I understand it, the re-elaboration of the GMO of flour and the way it's being bleached and reworked and processed has brought gluten and the original grain, wheat grain, to a level of, I'm going to say, difficulty for a lot of us in digestion. I'm sure someone else can explain it much better than that. I think you get the idea, however, that, if you are having, and a lot of people are having manifestations that they can't explain. And it could be topical, it could be skin, it could be gastric. Yeah. There's so many different ways. And people say, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm going to suggest that you check out and see if it's gluten. Just eliminate it altogether from your diet for a week and see what happens. Plus, gluten is in so many more things than you could ever imagine. It's not just wheat. It's also rye. It's
the protein,
barley.
It's the protein in the flour.
That's right.
Or that you really need to know, because some people are allergic to portion of the protein, and that makes a difference.
Right.
So some are intolerant of that particular protein, so they have to find out exactly to their bodies what really works for them.
Exactly. And as I said before, barley, farro
has the same problem.
So there are different grains that are, and there are a lot of there's a lot of misconceptions about what gluten is and what it isn't. And again, I'm not going to sit here and explain all that to you, but go online and do yourself a good search so that you can understand better for yourself. And a lot of children are experiencing this as well. So if your child is having issues of any kind, they've also directly made a correlation to depression. And
a lot of
and so
side effects are
the
coming
side
from
effects
it.
are many. So do yourself a favor if you feel like you might be having issues with gluten. Go in and take a deeper dive. Ask your doctor about it. But in the meantime, gluten or no gluten problem, this is the cookbook to have.
And you could easily do this without doing gluten-free.
Right.
So you could just replace the pasta or something.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So the recipes are, again, they are studied by Rita to make sure that there was no gluten in them at all. Because remember, gluten can be even in condiments. It's crazy where you can
medication.
Find.
Medication is another
Here's another thing I didn't know. Vodka. Maybe other alcohols I don't know because I'm not a drinker, but I know that there are vodkas
because there's grain in it.
Grain in it.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Grain alcohol. Amazing? Yeah. And so there's your gluten again. So you're going, wait a minute, that's, I had a reaction the last time I had a gin and tonic, whatever, I don't know. I didn't realize that there are vodkas with and vodkas without gluten. So with that having been said, everyone, I think that you should really be, again, mindful of again what you eat. Do a lot of us are so good and really astute now about taking deeper dives and doing the studying that we need to do with our labels and the like.
Reading labels is the main thing. Exactly, because there's so many hidden factors and different ingredients.
Now, when you were creating the book, or we have always said I was creative direction. Rita did the pictures. She did the recipes.
We collaborated.
Yeah, we did. It was really a 50-50 collaboration. Rita was so amazing to work with. I mean, just the kindest soul I think on the planet.
It was mutual.
No, I'm a pain in the butt. No, that's not true. It wasn't. You're so easy to get along. We're both Tauruses, however. I will say that. But she was bullheaded. Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, for sure. But I guess the question I had asked you is, where did your love of cooking come from? Now, Rita is the last of 12 children.
Yes, I'm the baby of 12.
Yeah, so I don't know if she, by the time they got down the food chain, if there was anything left for her.
No, really, I really wanted to be served, and I love to eat. My passion was food. I just loved to eat. Right. But, and I had good taste buds, so that started basically opening a restaurant with a partner that I had, and he thought that I had something special because I understood food, and I could go to the restaurant and say, oh, this is good, this is not good, the whole bit. But then doing it, I found more interest in it because if I wanted to eat well, I had to cook for myself.
Did you have an influence from your mother or a grandmother?
Well, I had my sister was a fabulous cook, and I lived with her in La Spezia. Right. So she raised me since my mother came to the United States.
Which sister was that?
Lucia.
Lucia.
She was the fourth one down.
Okay. So you sort of looked to her for...
I loved her idea of cooking because she bought all the best ingredients. We lived in La Spezia for about 3.5 years together, and her husband. And she cooked meticulous and all the beautiful vegetables and fruits and so forth. And everything was so great that I just observed. I was only like 8, 9 years old at the time. But I loved to eat. So I was looking forward to eating. And everything that she did was amazing.
Is there anybody out there that doesn't love to eat? That's what I want to know. Anyway, you are here at the Limelight. We're with Rita Romano. Everybody, do not go away. I've got many more questions I've got for Rita. We'll be right back after this break. Hey everybody, Clarissa here. I wanted to talk to you about Audible.com. And why? Well, you can get countless amounts of books on audio. Just listen to them. Who has the time? I don't, to stop and read all the books that I want to read. But, I'm always in the car. I'm always traveling either from Phoenix to Las Vegas or out to San Diego, LA. I've got plenty of time in the car that I can be listening and learning, or listening and enjoying at the same time. So I've decided to affiliate with Audible. It's what I love to do, is listen and learn. So why don't you do the same? And they've got it in different languages. So it's not just English. I know there's Spanish and other languages as well, that you can go in and pick all kinds of different titles, all kinds of different books, and listen to them. And for me, I, again, love learning. It's the quickest way for me. It's the easiest way for me. It's the most affordable way for me. So go ahead. You can get a free trial. I'm going to send you to clarissaburt.com/audible. Go there now. You will not be sorry. Everybody, we are back in the limelight with Rita Romano, a very, very dear friend of mine and co-author, shall we say, of the Gluten-Free Gastronomy, Italian Gluten-Free Gastronomy Cookbook. I was going to say lei essendo. I was going to break into Italian right away. She being a very famous international chef, has had her own restaurants, many cookbooks, and I had the absolute pleasure of collabing with Rita on this lovely, I call it a coffee table book. So you can't see the coffee table, but it's actually
great for both.
It really is. And the recipes inside, I mean, they're Rita's, so how bad could they be, right? Everybody clamors to get into Rita's kitchen.
There's some yours too.
When she's cooking, I had a one little, two little say, but of course it was this dessert stuff. It was the sweet stuff. But everybody clamors to get into her kitchen when she's in there, and she loves to have dinner parties and more intimate gatherings, and so as long as she's in the kitchen, she's a happy camper, right?
As long as I'm eating.
We do that too. So we were talking just before break, we were talking about your family and Lucia and how she was such a huge
great influence on
great
me.
influence of your on your
because she was so meticulous and everything. I would go to the piazza and shop for the neighbors.
Right.
And I was like 8, 9 years old.
Right.
And, they would just give me a list what they wanted, and I would go and negotiate with the vendors, in the piazza. You negotiate with them and get the prices down, And that was the thing. And then I would buy the brioche in the morning, so from the money I saved.
The brioche would be like a croissant. Brioche is like a croissant, if you will. Anyway, one of those really fattening things.
And that was, but at the meantime, I'd come home with these 2 bags. I had long red hair. They couldn't see me, just 2 bags on the bus, But it was great because I got to learn so much. I got to learn about how to deal with in the piazza, what to buy, and so forth.
So your first restaurant, though, was here in the States, wasn't it?
Yes, it was in Philadelphia. No, it was here in Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yes, I had 3 restaurants.
Because your family lives in Philadelphia. So, I mean, not only
we
do
all
we have
lived in Philadelphia first and then came to the Arizona.
So you and I had the Italian connection, then we had the Philadelphia connection where
right,
I was born. Then we have the fact that we're both Tauruses.
Now both named Rita.
I'm Clarissa Rita, she's Rita. Right.
So it's like, wow, there's got to be something here.
And now we both live in Phoenix. So
I was doing gluten-free, and then she was gluten-free.
Right.
Oh, that was perfect.
That was crazy. It was crazy. Perfect. It was sort of
It was a God-given.
It was
me.
serendipity for sure.
Totally
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And it was for me too. My phone's ringing. Sorry about that. So the other question that I wanted to have for you is your first restaurant was here in Phoenix, and as an entrepreneurial woman, what were some, because we love to talk, here about entrepreneurial and the difficulties and the overcoming moments and whatever. First of all, where did the idea come from, apart from you love it? But, it's one thing to cook in your kitchen for friends. It's quite another idea,
to make it as a business.
To make it as a business.
Yeah. Well, mine came from, I was dating someone who was into the restaurant business. And he just basically built the restaurants and then would sell them. So when we met, he goes, even though at the time I didn't cook, and he says, "Oh, Rita, you got something here." We'd go out to the restaurants. I could name everything and so forth, and all the details. And he goes, "No, you've got to something." And I would cook a little bit for him, but not too much.
Right.
And then, we finally decided that he said, "Look," he said, "why don't you just come in, guide me in the food." Because he wanted to do 31 sauces for pasta.
More as a consultant. He had
kind
of. Okay.
Well, not what he had in mind. What I had in mind was a consultant. Right. But anyway, so he says, let's do this together, and you come up with the 31 different sauces for pasta, like the ice cream.
Right.
31 different flavors.
Yeah.
So I did. I took out 6-8 months and did all the research and whatever needed to be done for the 31 different sauces. So I came up with that, and I told him I would help him to do the opening, decor, and so forth, and get it started, and then I would be out. It didn't work that way. So we opened 31 different sauces. Pasta was called Pasta Paradise. And from just doing, the beginning to get him started, I went into running 3 different restaurants.
Wow.
But I was very fortunate because at the time, 2 of my sisters that were One was Lucia,
Right.
and the other one was Antonietta, and they were the excellent cooks.
Really?
So I hired them to be in the kitchen.
No kidding.
And that was amazing. That was amazing. So that's how things got started. And I stayed, and then I, basically worked with all the 3 restaurants and so
Right.
forth, and that worked. But at the time was where the economy was down, which was in the early 90s,
Right.
and we were going to invest to do franchise, and it didn't work out because the people lost the money and so
I
forth.
see.
But the concept was amazing.
And that's where you sort of decided, okay, let's take a couple of steps back.
Yeah, I thought basically at that time, I thought, you know what, the economy isn't good. Really, this is not a good idea as far as, because we were right downtown. The first one was on Thomas and Central.
Right.
We were right downtown, and the economy was really not good. It was a
Right.
good time to pull out.
Right, right.
But the concept was amazing. The concept was really amazing. I had all the lawyers come in, and whoever came in to the restaurant, they would come all week.
Of course they did.
And it was great. And
Where
I
else
would
were
go
they
there. You
going
know
to
what I
go?
would do? It was so funny because I would go there because it was pasta specialty, right?
You see why I love her so much? She doesn't ever want to talk, but when you get her started,
Right,
you can't
don't get
shut
me
her
started.
up.
Now it's her turn. Wait. Okay, just a few minutes.
no,
Anyway, so I would go to each table and teach everyone to eat pasta, spaghetti, because it was all spaghetti. So, how, because they didn't know, they would cut in. I'm like, no, you got to learn the Italian way. So I
Right.
would go there and twirl the pasta against the wall of the plate, to teach them. And it was amazing. They loved it, and they loved it. And I would do something new, and I would go, oh, come on, taste this. It was really good. So they loved it.
manja,
Yeah.
just
And that was it. And it was great. It was great. Actually, I could have kept the one restaurant. I just didn't want to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, everybody, that's pretty much
That's
the end of the interview. That's how quickly, I tell you, I say every time, that's how quickly it goes. We know sooner to get into it than we got to get out of it. But I knew you were going to love Rita Romano. I couldn't wait to have her back so that I could interview her and you could get to know her just the way I do and love her heart the way I do. It's the
Thank
Italian
you.
Gluten-Free Gastronomy Cookbook. You can find it on Amazon for the digital version, and for the hard copy version, like where I've got my hands right here, you can go to clarissaburt.shop. And it's under the Feel Good tab. So there you go. I love you. I'm so thrilled that you're
the
back.
love is
and you're
mutual,
here.
Clarissa, you know that.
Thank you so much. And we're going to have Rita back because she was like, I want to do this, but I am going to coerce her to come back and cook one of these recipes for us one of these days. And in the meantime, who knows if maybe we're not going to do another book.
No, you just never
You
know.
never know.
Hey, you didn't talk about the Italian version.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the way, that's a great thought.
Yeah.
We have the Italian version out too. So in Italy, this same book just came out in about a month ago. About a month ago, it dropped in Italy.
About July 4th, actually.
July 4th.
July
Yeah,
4th,
a little
isn't
more
that
than a month.
great?
Yeah, 6 weeks ago.
To honor the United States.
Absolutely. So the same book, they found out in Italy that we had done this book and they wanted to have it there as well. And they do now, which is really fun. And it's all translated into Italian, obviously, from the standard system to the metric system. Poor Rita had to do all of that too. Yeah. But now Italians in Italy are enjoying gluten-free gastronomy.
And we'll put it on Facebook too.
Thanks to Claire.
We'll place it on Facebook for the
Facebook.
information. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If they want, you can find that. Yeah, it's on Facebook. Yeah. And aren't they on Amazon as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Amazon.it.
IT for Italy, absolutely. Yeah, for Italy. So if you just put in my name, Clarissa Burt or Rita Romano, you'll be able to find the book. Okay, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for joining in, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.